Okay, so now we get to our second reading, which comes from 1 John chapter 3, verses 1 through 2 and verses 21 through 24. Beloved, see what love the Father has bestowed on us, that we may be called the children of God. And so we are. The reason the world does not know us is that it did not know him. Beloved, we are God's children now. What we shall be has not yet been revealed. We do know that when it is revealed, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. Beloved, if our hearts do not condemn us, we have confidence in God and receive from him whatever we ask, because we keep his commandments and do what pleases him. And his commandment is this: we should believe in the name of his Son, Jesus Christ, and love one another just as he commanded us. Those who keep his commandments remain in him and he in them. And the way we know that he remains in us is from the Spirit he gave us. Okay, beautiful. So 1 John, this is a fascinating thing. I just learned this, literally, I just learned this. So I'm reading from this Ignatius Catholic Study Bible, this gigantic piece of work that is super good. Anyway, it says, the letter aims to strengthen believers who are threatened by a heretical group. So heresy is like false teaching, intentional false teaching. I suppose even unintentional could be heresy, but as far as like when a person is accused of heresy, typically they're given a chance to recant, to change, and say, I didn't know this was false, So anyway, so this is a group of people that broke away from the community. So they've intentionally broken away. So they're like official heretics. Anyway, so the individuals whom John calls antichrists, liars, deceivers, and false prophets, they denied that Jesus was the Christ and the Son of God who had truly come in the flesh. So that's I think a really helpful thing to understand because why? Because so much of the entire Christian message hinges on who Jesus is. If Jesus is not truly God, then he's just another man, and that's a problem. And if Jesus, let's say he is God, but let's say at the same time we can separate his divinity from his humanity. That in one moment Jesus is divine, but in another moment he's not divine. So people want to do this when we talk about Mary. For us as Catholics, and just like to look at the logical conclusion of Jesus is God. Jesus is the son of Mary, therefore Mary is the mother of God. And anyway, so people want to critique and say, well, no, she was just the mother of Jesus's human nature, not the mother of Jesus as God. And so she's just the mother of Jesus. It's like, well, no, but if we're going to separate Jesus's divinity from his humanity in that moment, then can we say on the cross that he just died as a man and not as God? And if that's true, then that takes away the entire redemptive value of what he's done, both as man, but also especially as God. So that's a big thing. So anyway, so the whole thing here is like, if we want to remove Jesus either from his divinity altogether or from his divinity at any given point, then what does that mean? It means that like there are all kinds of consequences to that, and which would include you and me and how we come to participate in his life. When we're baptized, we're taught, we believe that when we're baptized, something changes inside of us, and that something is that we participate in the life of Jesus. We become members of his body. St. Paul talks about this, that we become members of his body. And so in a very real way, like that is an incarnational reality. Jesus, he comes incarnate. He's got a human body, a part of him. And so for you and I, when we participate in his life, we are participating in everything that we do. It has the potential to participate in the life of Jesus. Obviously, sin is not a participation in that. That's like a big reason why John says like that we need to keep his commandments and to please him. And so that's a real thing, that if we sin, we're actually breaking from our membership in his body. But when we participate and follow his commandments, then we participate as members of his body. And if we are members of his body, then we are also children of God. Jesus is the eternal Son of the Father. And if we participate in his life, then we participate as eternal Son of the Father. And so that's why John can say, see what love the Father has bestowed on us, that we may be called children of God. Like, what an incredible gift that we have, that we can participate in the life of Jesus because he became incarnate. And so for these heretics who want to deny that Jesus was the Christ, they want to deny that he was the Son of the God, that they want to deny that Jesus came in the flesh, then they're also denying that we are children of God. And so for John, I'm really fascinated by this. For John, he's writing to this community of people who didn't break away, but maybe they're feeling threatened by this breakaway group. And so he's writing to them to confirm them of like, no, this is your new identity. You have become members of the Son, which means you have become sons, children of God in the Son. That's so big. And so he says, and so we are, like to confirm, like, yes. And this is John writing, by the way. So you can take it on my authority, he's saying, that this is what we are. The reason these people don't understand this is because they didn't understand him. They didn't know him. But we are God's children now. And what we shall be, well, there's something still further that needs to be unlocked in this mystery, and it's not like it's a secret code that we gotta play, but there's something further that needs to be revealed. And what is to be revealed? Well, it hasn't yet been revealed yet, but we do know that when it's revealed, we're ultimately in the very end, we're gonna see him as he is, this beatific vision of God. That's a thing worth hanging your head on. It's a thing worth participating in. Beloved, if our hearts do not condemn us, we have confidence in God and receive from him whatever. So in other words, like you got to let yourself grow in confidence in this reality. And because why? Because we keep his commandments and do what pleases him. When we keep his commandments, when we do what pleases him, we are truly his disciples. And being truly his disciples, we are living in imitation of him, because that's what disciples do. The learning that they do, the observations, the imitation, it's all for that purpose of becoming as much like the master as possible. And so because we're keeping his commandments, because we're doing what pleases him, we're imitating him. And what is his commandment? His commandment is that we should believe. God's commandment is that we should believe in the name of his son, Jesus Christ, and that we should love one another. This is the whole thing. So believe in, like the Father is saying, I sent my son. Believe in him. Surrender your life to him. Follow him. And then follow what he says when Jesus says, love one another as I have loved you. Lay down your life for your brethren. So big. So when we do this. So anyway, those who keep his commandments remain in him and he in them. This communion that we can have, it's a mystical thing. So mystical meaning it escapes the limits of the physical realm, and yet it's still real. It is very real. This mystical union that we can have with Jesus, where he remains in us and we somehow remain in him. And the way we know that he remains in us is from the Spirit that he gave us. When we were baptized, we received the gift of the Holy Spirit in our souls, and that brought about a union with him, a remaining with him, an abiding with him, a living with him that it can't be taken away except by breaking his commandments, except by not doing what does not please him, what is displeasing to him. Anyway, so I actually I love this reading. I love 1 John. I love John in general, but I love this reading because he's like seeing these people, these Christians who are maybe feeling threatened, maybe unsure of themselves, and he's writing to them. He's like, no, this whole thing is real. This whole thing is real, and this is what we're celebrating when we talk about celebrating the Holy Family. That Jesus didn't just come like a lightning bolt from heaven. He didn't just snap his fingers, but he came incarnate, living in an incarnate reality, which was within the family, and now he invites us into his family, the family of the Holy Trinity, by inviting us, by allowing us to become and be called the children of God. Oh man, it's so good. It's so good. So we look to his family and strive in our families as much as we can to imitate that. And then from there, we enter into his eternal family, which then we can also bring into our lives. So to love God by imitating his family life, the family life of the Trinity, and to love God by imitating the love among the family, among neighbors. So to love God and to love neighbor as Jesus Christ has loved us is so good. It's a great challenge. And I hope I explained that right. If I didn't explain that right, and I think I did, but if I didn't, I recant and I surrender to whatever the church teaches about that. But anyway, I think this is true. So anyway, so beautiful, brothers and sisters. You got to know this, that your dignity, because you are baptized, if you are baptized, but your dignity because you are baptized, it goes beyond what the world wants you to think it is. It goes beyond what you even might think it is. It is something that is truly magnificent, truly glorious, and it is intended by God for eternal glory. So I love this study as always, and I look forward to being with you next week. God bless you.